Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. I'm your host, Maximilian Moreau. With me is Philip Wilson and Jeffrey Hawthorne.
Hello.
Howdy, 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 howdy.
So, thank you guys for dealing with my morning show that has been so broken lately. Hopefully this episode will go through. I found the problem. I'm going to show it to you guys on the show just because maybe you care. You probably don't, but here we go. So, CamTwist. So, CamTwist, it supports AppNap for some reason, which is some Apple thing, I don't know.
That's silly.
But for some reason, it doesn't actually support it well, and so if it's on, it doesn't stream very nicely. So you have to check this thing to prevent AppNap. Now, the thing is, this check generally shouldn't change, but it did, somehow, between Thursday and Friday morning, and it ruined all of my stuff. So now we have it on our pre-flight checklist to check to make sure that that is checked and not unchecked, because otherwise we don't get a show.
I wish I had a pre-flight checklist.
You do. It's right here. Look,
okay.
It's right. This is our pre-flight.
87 simple steps.
No, don't pull back.
It's
Don't pull
the
back the
pre-flight.
curtain.
It's the pre-flight. This is all the stupid stuff we
No,
have
it's
to do
all
before
magic.
every episode.
It's all magic.
All right. So
The internet is magic.
the internet is magic. Charlie. All right. So
Candy Mountain.
So on our last episode, what were we doing? We were like shooting things. So we got this stuff going. So we shoot our targets, and then it goes to the next phase, and then we shoot our targets, and it goes one more phase. So yeah, there's no stopping it. You can't stop it.
It's like that Hadouken. Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Ninja
Unstoppable.
Hadouken. Unstoppable. All right.
Unstoppable.
So unblockable, or was it unstoppable or unblockable?
Unblockable.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So what we discussed doing this episode was actually doing some environment work. I naturally didn't download the things, and I don't like to download stuff while I'm on the show, just because we have a very limited internet connection here, and we've got things tweaked right to the edge. So what I'm going to do instead is we've been playing with the animation system for a bit on this one, and on our other episodes actually, and we've been running into little problems and stuff. And I think I'm going to listen to Phil, and we're going to do a little node system this episode. We're going to switch our movement to a node thing. Part of the reason I want to do this is because we might look at using Rain AI for the AIs in this game, because there's a free version of that.
Oh, is that?
And they keep pinging me, and they keep saying, "Hey, can you please show it on the show? We made it free and stuff." It's like, and I'm like, you know, this actually is a pretty good fit for that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So, but I want to build a node system ourselves first, so that we understand kind of what goes into this and what goes behind the scenes on these type of things.
Oh, I should give you that node code again.
Well,
once I'll locate
We're
it next
going
week.
to be making a much simpler node system than what we did on that episode.
Node code,
No, that
though.
node code's awesome, but ours is going to be
Auto-connecty
awesome.
node code.
Yeah, but we're not. So we're doing a linear node mesh on this. Like, there's only one path we can take, and so it's literally a single direction linked list, effectively. If you're looking for what the name of the software design pattern is, called linked list, that we're going to be using for our nodes. But you don't have to know what a linked list is to do what this is. And actually, linked lists are super simple, and you're going to love them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create a script for describing a node. So we're going to create a C# script, and we're going to call this, I'm just going to call it node.cs versus node.js. That was a web joke.
Yes,
I'm going to be making web jokes occasionally now because I work in web. So
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Was that Chappelle pretending to be a white person?
No, that was
because that's what it
me.
sounded like.
Pretending to be a white person.
All right, you pretended to be a white person. Excellent. All right, cool. So node. I should probably call it something more specific than node, but let's just go with node for right now.
Yeah, node will work for the
So
moment.
what we're going to need in
You could
our
say
node.
waypoint.
Yeah, we could actually. That's probably better. I'm just going to call it node for right this second. So we're going to. All this thing's going to have is we're doing a single linked list, singly linked. So it's just going to be public. Oops. Okay, public. And you tell me if anyone's saying that this stream is not working or whatever. Because
Yeah, let us know if the stream is not working.
Because I think it should be good now, but you never know.
Public node.
Yes, public node. next node. And
Node without borders.
that's really kind of it. That's really the whole thing. As a matter of fact, this would be a useful script, believe it or not, at this point. It doesn't look like it would be very useful because it doesn't do very much.
I know, but this
is actually part of what we're doing,
yeah.
because at least we could find out, okay, what node are we at? Oh, and
node.
then we can get the next node after that one
Actually,
too if we need
for
to.
this type
So,
of game, this node structure actually would probably work
Yes.
quite well.
Now, since in the interest of actually making this a little bit cooler, we're going to actually put some code in here. And the code is going to be in void on draw
We should
gizmos.
have multiple nodes as well. Potential to have linking paths.
Yeah, we'll extend it if
I mean,
we
you know
want
what
to.
I
Yeah,
mean.
we'll extend it later.
Branching paths,
Yeah,
sorry.
understood. So on draw gizmos, what are we going to do? So all I want to do is draw a line from our current node to the new node. So what we're going to do is gizmos.draw line, and the from will be transform.position, and the to will be next node.transform.position.
Fantastic.
And we should do one more thing here, though, because
way too
if we
easy.
don't have, if there is no next node, this will yield an error, because this will be like, hey, it's null, and I'm trying to get a transform, and I don't know what's going on anymore. So we want to make sure that if next node does
Is
not
not
equal
null.
null, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we want.
Or else you'll get a null reference exception, and no one likes those.
We
Nope.
might want to draw a sphere or something, just so the nodes are easy to see if they're in a line.
I'm going to actually use a trick that we learned later to do that without actually using code. So, and we can draw one there too, but it's just as simple these days to do. We're just going to create an empty object. I'm going to go into the scene and look at our little empty object, and then what we can do is we can just drag this thing down and make it a little. I'm going to make it a little green thing for our player. And so if we look at it, we've got this little green thing there.
It's so tiny.
Why is it not moving when I tell it to move?
It's so tiny.
There we go. It's tiny. We can make it bigger, I think. Well, we could make it so that it has like a label and stuff, but we don't want
I
that.
think the green node was probably better.
Green node's probably fine.
Yeah.
We can make the gizmos bigger. We can just go whoop. There we go.
Perfect. Well, that's easy.
So
That's very handy.
now we have a
too.
node. And we didn't have to write anything. Now,
Oh,
we could have
wow.
also just done draw a sphere or something
Yeah.
in there, or draw a wireframe sphere. And we still might even go back to this if this ends up annoying us. So we've got a
this
game object. We're going to
draw
call this a
over-
node.
Does that node draw over other objects? That
Do you say nerd? Do you know what game that's from?
Yes.
Good.
Do you want me to say just so?
No, I want
can
someone
tell
else
you?
in the comments to
Okay.
say it. If anyone in the comments knows what the line is, did you say nerd? And he was talking about a node. Let me know. I just am testing the audience at this point.
I
So,
have no idea.
so it's a big game.
It's a very
It's a
famous,
very famous game.
series.
Yes. So
It's a series?
it's a series. We're given clues now.
Because my guess would have been like Bully or something. But
I
that
can
was
tell you
on
that
its
it
own,
is-
it's separate from Grand Theft Auto. So.
It is the 4th game in the series.
Okay, now you're telling them too much. All right. So, and it's not the 4th game in the series. It has a 4 in the title. There's a very big difference.
No, it doesn't have.
Doom 2?
Oh yeah, you're right. It is the 4th game. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
I'm retarded. Okay, so Phil likes it when I'm retarded.
Sandwich.
All right, so
No, I just like saying.
so
"Ha-ha."
we've got these nodes, and I'm going to put
talking
our
about
little
video
node script on them, and then we're going to click on one of these nodes, and we're going to drag the other node into it, and lo and behold, we have a little line between the two of them. Isn't that
That's
freaking
actually
awesome?
really,
that
really
was
cool.
just super easy.
That green dot is so much easier than pretty much anything I've put together with the draw gizmos. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it.
Node. Next node? Node.
You can actually even use. There's actually you can do other, and you can give it like anything that you have in your library here. So
Oh, that's
so you
awesome.
can actually make it look however you want. But we're just gonna stick with the little greeny dude. So since the nodes are green, I'm just gonna go ahead and make the draw line green as well. We're gonna do gizmos dot color equals color dot green.
Oh, that is too easy.
You're just thinking about all the things that you've done in
What
the
were
past.
you trying to do with Gizmos?
What wasn't I trying to do
So,
with gizmos?
I'm going to call this node 1. I'm going to call this node 2. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put
They should
this
probably live in a collection
basically
of nodes.
where the player is. Like you do a empty.
I
just
don't
call
know.
This,
I really don't know if they should. We just need to.
node mesh.
This could get out of control
Here,
really
there you
really
go.
fast.
Node mesh.
Cool.
Is node mesh zeroed out?
It doesn't really matter, but we will do it. It is no the 17. Actually, yeah. Before I do that and ruin where they're at, not that they were in great positions as it was, but let's just zero this out.
I mean,
and then put them back in.
I was only thinking about this for organization standpoints, so because it can get if you have like 50 nodes in your scene, that'll get out of control pretty fast.
Oh yeah. We're not gonna have 50 nodes in our scene though. This is not a AI node mesh. This is a player path. Is what this is.
AI node mesh.
Does that make you happy for some reason?
Yeah, I like the idea of it.
All right. So where's the player? Player here. I'm going to copy component, paste component values. There. Now this represents where the player is. Remember, we got the player set up so that his pivot point is at the base of the player, which is appropriate for almost any game. About the only exceptions I shouldn't say almost any game because there's a lot of different types of games, but like a space shooter, generally the center of your ship is going to be where you want to be, but if it's a character, you generally want it to be at their feet because you want them to look like they're on the ground.
Yeah.
So we're going to put this one on the ground as well and somewhere else. I'm going to just basically put it at the end here.
Of that hallway?
Yeah. I'm not going to figure out where it's exactly supposed to be with the current animation setup. And there's some magic key combination you can do
To snap it
to
to
snap
the
it to the
object. I
terrain.
just don't remember what it is. If anyone knows in the comments, let us know.
I think... I don't know. I would have expected it to...
Yeah, I thought there was one that it attached it to. Right.
There we go. So
There it
you hold
is.
Shift and you hold Command, or probably Control on Windows, and then it will snap to terrain. So you can put it on the wall, and it goes on the walls. Isn't that super awesome? It
That
can go,
is actually really awesome.
So you can just like snap it to the floor, and then you don't have to worry about it. So let's just kind of center this guy somewhere here, and then let's go ahead and create another node. Duplicate this guy, and we're going to call it node 3. And we're going to move this one kind of
nerd,
where we were before.
right?
So not nerd at all. Definitely not a nerd. Well, I am a nerd, but you know.
I'm a nerd too.
Yeah. So now we have nodes that connect between those places, and that's all nice and fancy.
That is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was very limited amount of code to get that going on, which is nice. So now we have to actually use it. So as I said, we're going to be eschewing the animation stuff for now. I don't want to delete everything, but I am going to remove the animator on the player for right now. We're just going to remove component. Oh no! And that means that we need to change some of his logic too.
You still have the animator though. You just don't have it living on the player.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah. The animator we don't have anymore, but the animations and the animation controllers we still
You
have in
didn't
the project.
nuke it all, basically.
We didn't nuke it all, yeah. So, what are we doing now? So, where was our logic? So, I think it was in the cubes or something. We have, let's see what we have for scripts. We have advance on no children. Here we go. We're going to have to change how this works. So, right now we use an animator system for this. So, so what we want to do here is... So, we need to know what node we're on as the player. And I think the player should probably own this. So let's create a new script called... Create C# script. And we're going to call this... I'm just going to call it current node. And it's going to be, again, very, very simple. So, cam twist. Is that really where we are? That was
it's
hours
been,
ago.
It's been,
Okay. Oh,
I
thank
try to
goodness.
pause it because it doesn't show me
Wasn't that
just
last
all
Thursday?
the chat.
Yes.
You know that?
Did you guys weren't there for that bug? We had a bug like that where we had audio coming from other days, like audio that we told, and this was on Omega Strain.
How?
We would say stuff, and then in another game, like past a reset, past a whole new build, we would hear, "Hey guys, how's it going?" It's like, did you just say that? And it's like, no. It's like I said that like a day ago. So yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So public node.
I don't
Public node,
understand.
current node. We're done. There. That's it. That's all she wrote. So, so we're going to give this to our player. And we're going to go ahead and give him the first node. We're just going to manually set that here. So, it's a current node, and he's on the first node. We might programmatically make it so that he searches for a node in a certain configuration later. Right now, this will be fine for our purposes.
But currently, this will work.
And yes, so what we're gonna do is, so we need to have this this thing here. So advance on no children, animator target animator. So what this one does, if you don't set an animator, it does this. So I'm going to actually have it do public node instead. And we're going to do the exact same thing here, except for we're going to get component node. And we're going to call it target node instead of animator. So I'm going to right click and choose refactor, rename, and target node. That will change all of the references. We don't have to worry about it. So if transfer.child count is less than or equal to 0, we still want that. If target node equals null, we still want that. Set trigger, we don't want this anymore. What we want to do is, so we're gonna have to have some advancing logic and stuff. So we probably will renode what current node is actually called. Oh, and actually we don't want public node. We want public current node.
And over here it should be get component.
Yeah, current node.
Yeah.
All right. So now we have to figure out how we want to actually organize this. So I'm actually going to, let's save this, make sure it compiles first, see if we're in an okay state. Yeah, it doesn't because we don't have set trigger. I'm just going to get rid of this for right now.
Are we going to lerp between nodes?
Yeah, we're going to probably do a lerp or something.
So that might have to be a variable on each node, because the nodes are going to be spaced out differently.
Yeah, well, we're not going to do a lerp then. We're gonna give the player a sensible movement speed and then use that.
Oh, and check the distance between the two nodes. And then
Yeah,
do
that would make sense.
Yeah.
Could
Not
also
even-
point the player basically
Yeah,
at the next
yeah.
node until a certain distance. You could actually even put a sphere collider on the node itself to signify when it can go to the next node. Or when
Yeah,
it
but
can look
I'm
towards
not
that
going
next
to.
node.
I'm going to use a dot product
All right.
because we don't use them enough on the show, and they're really useful for telling if you've passed something. So, and so I think that's what we're going to do. But maybe we'll see. We'll see how we actually organize this. So current node. This is not a good name for this because we're going to want to put some more logic in here. Let's call this. Let's see, node.cs. So what's nice about this is generic enough we could use this for a lot of different things. So I'm going to keep this exactly the same. I'm going to call this node movement is what I'm going to call this. And actually, before I do that, instead of having to manually change that in every place that we need to change it, we're going to refactor rename node movement. And theoretically, that should change it here too. Good, it did. Yay.
Yay!
Thank you, MonoDevelop. I yell at you a lot, but you pulled through.
It did it there too.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's so nice. So so we got node movement. And we've got player has node movement, and now we can justify putting other things in here. Although we need to actually rename this to. Oh wait, it did. Oh, that's why it freaked out. So so you'll see that it has this missing monoscript. I'm going to remove component here, and we're going to do node movement. And so now we have node movement. There we go. And we're going to set his current node. Yeah. So let's do some more stuff here. So let's put some variables. Let's do some more variables. So we're going to do public float movement speed, public float rotation speed, and let's give it some good defaults. Let's do 1.0 f on the movement speed. It's probably going to be too slow, but just want a useful default. And for rotation speed, let's do you like 30 or 60? Let's do 60.0.
What about 45?
I don't like 45.
Why?
I don't know.
It's
Okay,
like
45.
it's like an eighth of a pizza.
All right, 45.
It's an eighth of a pizza.
That's great. Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. All right. I still can't believe that we use degrees regularly, honestly. Because I can't believe that we use degrees or radians regularly, because I think both of them are stupid. We should have a 0 to 1, like, normalized rotation in this world in mathematics, and no one uses them.
We
So,
measure distance by a foot.
yeah, I'm not even going to comment on that. All right, so whose foot? All right, void. Void move to next node is what we're going to call it, and we're going to make it public so that other things can call this.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, so move to next node. What we will do is node next node equals current node dot next node. I guess we could have just probably used this all the time, but I'm just going to do that so that we can have a little shortcut. So move to next node. So that's our next node, and so what we need to do is we need to we're going to do some coroutines on this. There's going to be some
Sweet.
serious coroutine action going on here. So let's do
Coroutines are
public float. Actually, public. Sorry, not public, not a float either. IEnumerator. Rotate to goal is what I'm going to call it. And this will take a let's actually just do private node next node.
I'm bummed out no one knew what the nerd reference was.
Yeah, we're old. No one's gonna know it.
It's not even that old.
It's so old. It's like 14 years old.
That's not that old.
It's like it's gotten so old now.
So it was the fourth game, and the fourth game was 14 approximately years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit less than 14 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
And it
probably
was a big game.
It was huge.
it was huge.
That game was huge.
Big, like, popular.
Groundbreaking.
Or
Big,
big,
big like
like,
popular big.
Popular.
And it was a big game. I mean,
Yeah,
it was a good
big.
game. It is a linear game, though.
Yeah, it is a linear game.
So
It's not open world.
Well, it's kind of open world. It's just a very closed open world. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
you
know.
can walk
I
anywhere
totally,
you want.
I
It's
totally
just-
agree
yeah.
with you. It's just that it's a weird thing to say.
Well, I mean, it's like saying Fable's open world, right? If you define it as, it's the same type of thing,
And the
except for
line-
it's not crappy like Fable.
yeah.
The
So-
line is someone says node, and then the other person says,
Did you
mean
say
nerd?
nerd?
Or did you
Yeah.
say nerd?
Did you say nerd? All right. Rotate to go. So we're gonna do a float t. This is our time variable. We're gonna set it equal to 0.0f.
And I hope someone solves this
Um,
mystery within like 7 more minutes.
We're going
'cause-
to while.
think
We'll
that's
say
going
it. We'll say it at some point on.
Because
I'm
I'm going
having
to take
trouble
off
even
here
thinking
soonish.
of. I'm having trouble thinking of fourth iterations of games that came out 14 years ago that are big games and were popular games.
I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, I can think of several. There's a few on that list. So
Yeah, I mean,
while t is less than. Oh wait, we're not using t on this at all. This is
And
not
that
how we want
had
to set this up.
Technical stuff in them.
I would
say-
I can think of some fantasy games and stuff, but they wouldn't say. No, did you say nerd?
All right. So what's the best way to do this? So rotation speed is
wanna say it
45.0
so
Is that
bad.
f.
in voice or text?
So said in voice
Said
and
voice.
text.
And text, yeah, both of them. Simultaneous.
So float t equals 0.0f. I don't think we actually need a t here. Well, we do need a t here, but we need to set some things up. So we're going to have a goal rotation. So let's figure that out. So our goal rotation, let's do quaternion goal rotation equals. We may not need this t, but goal rotation equals. So we want to take next node dot transform dot position minus transform dot position, and we wrap this whole thing up in a quaternion dot look rotation There we go. This will give us our goal quaternium. We're going to do quaternion initial rotation, just in case we need it, which I think we do, equals transform lowercase. Why does it just sometimes forget that that's a thing? Rotation. And what we're going to do is...
Maybe because you have the while loop open.
Yeah, probably. So ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to do something along the lines of transform.rotation equals quaternion.rotate towards initial rotation, goal rotation, and actually we don't want initial rotation here. We actually want to transform.
13 years old.
Transform.rotation. I told you it was a little bit less than 14, so. Transform.rotation, is that for the Japanese release or the US release?
Well, let's check.
All right.
Both. Both. It actually released in US before
that's
Japan.
right. That was weird. I remember freaking out about that because that was so uncommon at the time.
very
Now it
uncommon.
happens all the time, but
By the way, the fourth is a little bit
misleading.
little
It has
bit
a 2 in the
misleading.
title.
It does.
It has a 2 in the title.
Yes.
All right. So
That's like a lot of clues, by the way, as far as
it's made by Konami.
Oh! I want to say it so bad.
If they can't get it with this, I'm really disappointed in our audience.
Okay, you have 3 minutes, audience.
This is really not fair, too, because our audience on the live show is like 3 people, and they're just like,
Okay.
oh, man, they're disappointed in us. and we're really not. We love you guys. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, not everyone can.
And it's a really stupid line to remember.
God,
honestly.
yes, it is.
So
The fact that
rotation
both of
speed
us remember it, though, or
times time dot delta time. So this is the thing that does the thing that we want it to do. And we want to do this thing several times, once a frame, until it gets to where it needs to be. So what we should be doing is if transform.rotation, let's just try an equivalence check. I'm not sure if this will work, but let's give it a shot. If transform.rotation equals goal rotation, then actually let's do not equals goal rotation.
I got the right series, but not
Yield,
the right game.
Return null.
Right series, though. Which is good.
Well, that means they're real close.
Yeah, really close.
Yeah.
Right series.
As a matter of fact, we already gave the clue that'll allow them to finish that one up. So
Yep.
shore that up. All right, so if it does not equal goal rotation, you'll return null. And we need to do a while loop in here somewhere. So we're going to do while true, which just means do this forever. And the reason we can get away with that is because we're going to do else break.
So I can't see what series they guessed, but
Yep, they got
with
it right.
the 2, my guess would be Metal Gear Solid
Ultimate.
2, but
There
I
you
have no
go.
idea.
There you
Is
go.
that what it was?
Yep. Ultimate Tostada.
I didn't play through enough of that game.
They
to
are
even
the
be
ultimate
at that
winner.
part.
Excellent.
But yeah, there's Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, and then Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid
Yep.
2.
It's technically the fourth game in the series.
You are exactly right.
It's, The 2 is the only reason that I would even head in that direction.
And it was said by Raiden.
Oh, and because
Yes.
you said that it was a Japanese game.
That released in America before Japan. Which is very uncommon, but typical.
All right,
for
let's
Metal Gear.
let's get back on this.
Okay, sorry
All right,
about that.
it's fine. It's totally fine. I love you. You know me. I love Metal Gear. So what this thing should be doing is we get into this while loop, and we'll be here forever unless something else happens. And so the something else is this break, and so we rotate it by a certain amount towards that goal, and we're done here. So what we want to do is move to the next node. We're going to first do a rotate to goal. Start coroutine, rotate to goal. We're going to have to reorganize this a little bit as we go.
But that's okay.
Rotate to goal. This part works. So right now we're kind of already pointed at our goal, so I'm going to just artificially make the player not be pointed at the goal. So we're just going to here. We're going to give him a little bit of a rotate on the right. I'm just going to make him do one of these. And And what do we need to do? So we've got this stuff. We need to actually change advanced on node children to use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take... target node is really the wrong word for this. Because... Oh, we're doing this wrong, aren't we? What was I thinking? All right. So the problem with this is we need to know. So these things, these rooms here, that should have a script on them, but don't for some reason. Oh wait, they're not the rooms. Sorry, they're in the room 1 enemies group. So it has this target node thing. And the thing is, before we could just hit advanced. Oh, we still can hit advanced. Okay, so we don't need to call this target node. Let's call this the player node move. Yeah, let's do the fancy thing. Rename player node movement. That way we won't confuse ourselves. So now we're going to do player node movement dot what do we call it? Move to next node. Move to next node. That's what we're going to do instead of saying trigger advance. So let's see if this works. Oh, it's going to be hard to see actually if this works if we hit play right now because I don't think I can shoot with the targets. Yeah, that's going to be difficult. Make that rotation a little bit less extreme. Player, we're going to make it so they can just barely see that we've got these things. So we're going to shoot that one, and we're going to shoot that one. And it did it.
Just fucking worked.
It just worked. Yeah, that was nice. Move to next node. So
Sweet.
now I want to just do a quick double check just to make sure that we did get out of this thing right, because it's possible that the thing could still be rotating us and just not doing anything. I just want to make sure that this is actually being called right. So let's do debug.log.
Oh.
We're just going to do done. This is just a real quickie just to make sure that we're not digging ourselves in a hole before we know it. So hit play. We're gonna shoot one, then shoot the other. And it said done. Good sign. Good
That's
sign.
awesome.
I always worry when we do checking equivalency for vectors or for rotations. This
Yeah.
one was pretty safe because of the function we're using. This almost guarantees basically you will eventually hit the rotation. But keep that in mind if you're getting weird logic to put debugs in there just in case you have that type of problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to need to rotate the goal, and then we're going to need to
Walk to it.
yeah, walk to it. So what do I want to do here? So at the end of the rotate to goal thing, I think I'm going to have a little identifier in here. We're going to put an int, actually bool, initial rotation. And the reason we're doing this is because we're going to have to use rotate to goal twice. We needed once to rotate towards our goal, then we're going to move to our goal, and then once to rotate towards the next goal, so
Well,
that we have...
Yeah. That depends on if we want to rotate toward the next goal.
Yeah, I guess there might be situations where we don't.
If we
You
don't
want
want
to rotate
to
towards the
rotate-
next goal?
If we always want to rotate toward the next goal, we don't have to do the initial rotation because we're already going to be rotated toward the next goal.
Well, the thing is, we don't know. I at least wouldn't be sure that I always wanted to base directly upon the next node.
Yeah. All right, so let's just set it up this way first, and then let's look at the pros and cons. There are definitely some cons. There definitely
we
some
could
cons.
definitely set
but-
up bool.
Yeah, but let's
do something
do
like
this
that,
just
too.
for now. Just for now, let's do this. So so we're gonna rotate the goal, and we're gonna give it
There's
true.
a question.
Oh, what's the question?
Question is, isn't calling coroutine by string slower?
Yeah, probably. It's an old habit, so I should probably just break it, right? Break my old habit.
Old habits die hard.
You can pass multiple variables if you do it.
Yeah,
that way,
yeah.
too.
There's a lot of advantages to that. The reason I didn't do that in the past is because there were times when it was not nearly as robust as it is now. So I think I should probably switch my practice on that. So let's do that. And yes, it is faster. It's one call faster. It's negligible in a real world scenario, because if you're in a situation where you're doing enough start coroutine calls for it to slow down the game,
You should
you
probably slow down
probably
on
should be doing
coroutines.
less start coroutine calls. Like specifically the start coroutine call. Like I can only imagine that happening if you accidentally just were like doing it at every frame for some reason. So
Wouldn't their compiler switch it so that it? I mean, you'd think their compiler
potentially,
would set it up so it's the
I have
same
no idea.
speed.
I have no idea. Actually, I'm certain that it can't actually, because it doesn't know ahead of time. It's something it can't tell at compile time. So I don't think. I could be wrong. I think it uses a reflection call internally using the string. This is slightly speculation, but yeah, it is more costly. So we got rotate to goal. So we do this. And we don't actually want to start another coroutine after that, because it will start both of them at the same time. Which actually we might even want. Let's look at that. Let's try that. So start... No, let's not. Let's make it a step process for right now. So at the end of this thing, we're going to, if initial rotation, then we call the next part, which is going to be start coroutine... move to goal. Move to goal? All right.
Move to goal.
You're doing the string again.
Yeah, you're right. I am. You're right. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to do enumerator. Move to goal.
Oh, I really wanted to go loud with that one, but
I really, it wouldn't have been worth it, because we do not have a Vuvuzela here, so it just isn't the same without a Vuvuzela. So move to goal. So this is going to be similar to this thing, except we're going to be moving, which is actually easier, kind of.
Did we download the Otaku City for this project?
Whose city? No, we didn't. We didn't download anything for this project. We have not done any downloading. That's the reason that I didn't just immediately start populating things. So I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but I think we were talking about Metal Gear or something.
I got confused.
Speaking of Metal Gear, can you kill the tank in Metal Gear 1, or are you supposed to just walk by it?
You're supposed to kill it.
You're supposed to kill it. You throw a grenade to the top of the tank.
Or you have to
Otacon
hit a specific portion of it.
has a hilarious dialogue about that in Metal Gear Solid 4, by the way.
Okay, because my cousin always unloaded his entire arsenal and
Oh
couldn't kill
no,
it.
it's a simple hand grenade. That's all
Yeah.
you need to do, and get it into the hole where the man lives, into the manhole.
Where
He gave it to me.
Vulcan
and
Raven
asked-
is.
and
Yes.
Yes.
Said that if I thought I could do it, then I should go ahead and try. And I walked by it on the side of the screen.
All right. Or goal. So we have a movement speed, and what we're going to do is we're going to just do transform dot position dot transform position plus equals vector 3 dot forward. We're going to have to change like all of this later, but I don't care. Transform dot forward is actually what I want.
Yeah.
Because vector 3 dot forward will always be, no matter how we're facing, it's going to move in the same direction, so we don't want that. So transform dot forward times time dot delta time, and actually I like to do the other thing before it, even though I forgot. And we're going to do movement speed. So this will move us towards our goal. What's the best way to actually do this? So we need to check to see if we've gotten to our target. And the best way to do that is to do a dot product. We're going to do if vector 3 dot, and we're going to dot our
Are we dotting some products?
transform dot forward. Form
We're
dot
dotting some
forward.
products and crossing our transforms.
And
Yeah.
we're going to dot the goal position, which is next node. Actually, wait, yeah, next node. Why does it not know what next node is? Whatever. Next node dot transform dot position minus transform dot position, and with a lowercase t. And what this means is we're doing a dot product. I'm going to pull up the math real quick. Dot product wiki.
By the
So
way, I hate to do this, but I am going to take off.
All right.
Because I have to be.
we hate you to
physical
leave too.
therapy
Seriously,
early.
try to enjoy physical therapy at that hour that shouldn't exist in the morning.
Yeah, it's 7:20 a.m.
That's not fair. And you have a good one, man.
Thank you. Thanks
Everyone
for...
say bye to Phil. Bye, Phil.
Bye, Phil. Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to say that? I thought I was an everyone.
Yeah, you are in everyone. You were fine. The only person who dropped the ball here was Jeffrey, who just stayed completely quiet when I called for everyone to say bye, Phil.
That's because you guys won't stop talking.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's always my problem.
All right, so here's all this scary math stuff. Ignore it. Like, we don't-
Bye, Phil.
Well played.
Bye, Jeffrey.
All right. So ignore all this scary looking stuff.
See you later.
These are definitions. This is the type of stuff that you learn in math school. We don't care about math school. Math school teaches math really strangely. So what we care about is probably not even in this definition.
Bye, folks.
But the important thing is if
See you
you
later.
have if your dot product is positive, it means that the angles are acute. Which means, yes, so cute. Well, actually, not acute. Actually, that's not right. The angles are pointed in relatively the same direction, within the same 180 degrees range. If it's negative, they're not. And so that means that if we've passed the thing, if this becomes negative. So we check dot product is less than or equal to, well, let's just do less than 0. If it's less than 0, then we do, and actually we should do less than or equal to 0, honestly. In this case, we have arrived at our destination, and we should set transform dot position equals next node dot position dot transform dot position. So this puts us in our final slot. So
And then break, because this should
and
be
then
in a loop.
break, and then we need to actually put this in a loop. So we're going to do while true. We do all this stuff. And then we need to do a yield return null. So we need to do a yield return null here. Yield return null. So this thing will go here. We're not there yet. Yield return null. In the next frame, it'll come back here, change the position, and check again. So let's see if this part works. I'm going to get rid of our done message so that we don't get confused. And we're going to hit play. And we're going to shoot these targets. Bam, bam, bam. And there it goes. We're moving towards our goal. We're moving incredibly slowly because our movement speed is 1. I'm going to just jack it up a little bit. There we go. Looks like it worked. Very happy with that. All right. Cool. And then the final thing here will be we will rotate to, and we may add more features later, but for right now we're going to do another start coroutine. We're going to start coroutine the same one that we already wrote above us, rotate to goal, and we're going to give it a false here so that it doesn't call move again. But then we're also going to need to make sure that our goal is set to the next goal. So we need to make sure that next node equals current node dot next node. We're just going to do that again here. Oh, that's dangerous though, because we're setting that here. So let's do this. Let's not set it here. Let's set it in start for the first one. Public, actually just void start. we're going to set our next node equals current node dot next node, and then this should work. Let's give it a shot.
Do we ever set current node?
Yeah, we set it in the editor. Current node is set in the editor here. So
The current node has to change when we go to the next node.
yeah, that's fine, isn't it?
I was asking if we set it in script to a new node at any point.
Well, we set. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. We don't set it at any point. Oh. Good point. Wait, why do we even want a next node? Let's just do current node equals current node dot next node. And then down here we do the same thing. There we go. Now it'll actually say our proper current node. Well, actually, that's not true, because now it's not actually going to represent the current node. It's going to represent the next node. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... We're going to refactor this to next node. And so now it's next node dot next node. Okay, yeah, why not? Why not? Let's just do it. We'll clean it up later. So let's see how this works. We're going to do shoot.
No reference. Do we have to reset the current node because we changed the name of it?
Oh yeah, we changed the name of it, so we have to reset it. So we have to go to node 1 and throw it in here. So we hit play. So it immediately becomes node 2. That's good. And we do this stuff, and yay. Oh yeah, let me just fix this first. Let's put the movement speed to 10. So let's shoot these things down. Yay. So we should rotate into our next thing here at the end. Yay. And then if we do it again, we advance again. Joyous. But we get an all-order exception at the end because we don't have another node at the end of our chain here. So, so I already don't like this, because for the same reasons that we were already worried about before, which is the fact that maybe we don't want to rotate to the next nodes. So, what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to put this to 180 again just because we wanted it facing forward. The only reason we're doing that is to test the various stages. What I'm going to change is how these nodes behave slightly. So we got node 1. I'm going to actually have orientation matter on the nodes, which means that their rotation will take into account what... so the rotation of the node will be our ultimate facing for these nodes. So this one's already facing forward, so that's great. That's what we want. We're going to take this one and we're going to rotate it towards our... Well, actually, let's just rotate it towards a random location because we want to test to make sure that it works, right? So let's go there. And so instead of using the next node transform position minus transform dot position, we will instead use look rotation.
Wait, I think we still want that for the initial one, but the non-initial rotation, we want it to be the...
Well, we don't actually even have the initial one anymore. We got rid of it. We don't even need that code. So actually, we just want next node dot rotation here instead.
We got rid of what code?
I don't use an initial anymore. We just, because rotate towards actually wants our current rotation, so we didn't need to know an initial. We're not doing a tween, so.
I mean, we're doing start coroutine rotate, so we do a rotation, then at the end of that we do a movement, then at the end of that we go back and do another rotation. I meant the first rotation, we want it to rotate.
You're right. We
want it to rotate toward the node we're going to go to.
Absolutely right. So this is actually if...
Initial rotation.
Let's declare it first, just bam, and then if initial rotation, then we do this, and else we do the other. You're exactly right. Goal rotation. All right, and we want this just to be next node dot rotation. Oh wait, but we don't actually. Now we're unveiling all of our bad logic here. Next node.transform.rotation is what we want, but the problem is our next node is no longer the node we think it is. All right, so is it safe now to actually switch back to the current node thing because of what we're doing? Hold on. I know we're bouncing back and forth on this, but just bear with us, guys. This is how things go sometimes. So, start coroutine, rotate to go, all false. So if we do... Yeah, I'm going to actually do the way that we were doing it before, where we did it here. And we're going to actually change it back to current node. Refactor, rename, current node. And we're going to get rid of the start here. Just going to see if this works. I have a feeling that it's not going to, but let's just give it a shot. So if we hit play, and actually let's put our rotation on our player again just to make sure that we're not messing things up. So, oh, too much rotation. I can just do this. Oh. No reference exception already. Oh, and that's because I renamed it again. Play. A little bit more to the left. Bam and bam. Alright. Looking good so far. Does it rotate into the... Yep, it did. It did. That's looking good. And I'm just going to look more to the right just to make sure that this actually works. And we're getting the rotation at the end because this thing had a orientation that was pointed the other direction. At least I hope it does. It does! See? Look where the blue arrow is pointing. That's where it ended up pointing. Good! It all works. Yay! Alright, so now I'm going to actually make this node point back where we were doing before, so 270. And we have a very basic node system. I'm going to go ahead and get this checked in. So we're going to go P4V.
You need to set the player back to a reasonable starting rotation.
Yes, I do. Let's do that. So we're going to go back to the player, main player, and we're going to make him reasonable, which is 180, I believe. Let's just double check, make sure that it looks good. Bam, bam, bam. Oh, you saw that it does a little jiggle. It jiggled. Probably because our node was slightly off, or because we might overshoot our target slightly with our rotation code. We might look into that later.
Then this one faces the wall at the end.
Yeah. So does this go to... Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. Oh, there's one of our bullets. It's funny that they are all physicsy. So let's save, file, save project, and we're going to go into... This is the wrong perforce. P4V. I want Cooking with Unity. So we're gonna go fight, go right. No, like in game. Reconcile offline work. Reconcile. Basic node movement system. Cool. Very cool. So now we can set things up nice and easy for the player. And that's nice. That's nice. And you guys can see how you can set up a node type system. It's a little early. What should we do? I want to make the... So since it's I can't think of anything offhand that would really add to the game that happens in 6 minutes. So we're going to do some fluff. I am going to make the particle explosion better on the gibs. So gib target, we've got a target gib here. I just want to throw this into the scene, and we're going to make it not stupid. Where did that end up? Oh, there's where it ended up. That was weird. So we go over here, and we can see our really stupid little explosion that we made very quickly. It's actually very similar to the one that I made twice on the morning show, but I'm going to have to make it a third time tomorrow morning. But third time's the charm, as they say. So, so we do simulate, and it just does this little particle explosion. I'm going to make it all fancy. We're going to do collision. We're going to add some collision. We're going to do world. We're going to collides with everything. Why not? Collision quality high. Why not? We'll just do everything. Definitely not sending collision message. That'll kill us real quick. And let's make it so that these things are additive. So we're going to create a material. Create new material. Additive particle. And we're going to just set this to particles additive. And then we're going to go into our target gib again. And I'm going to make it random between two colors. Let's do something between yellow and blue. I'm just playing with it right now. This might not be what we go with, but something that's like a fiery blue. Stop, simulate. Yeah, that looks awful. That looks certifiably awful.
Let's do red and white, the target colors.
Red and white. I like that. Alright, cool. Oh yeah, we're not actually using our additive. That's part of the reason that it was looking terrible, so let's do that. And then let's go back to target gib. Okay, and it now looks like cubes, which is actually kind of cool. But
gravity
we can fix that by just going select, and we'll do default particle here. So now we should get little sparks. There we go. And we want it to be, we need to have gravity. So let's do gravity multiplier is 1. So let's simulate that. And then we want them to pop a little bit faster. So let's do the start speed of, let's make it random though. So let's do random between two constants. We're going to let's do 5 at the low end and 15 at the high end. And we don't need them to live that long. Let's make the start lifetime between 1 and 2. And let's make it between, let's do 0 and 0.5 actually. That's too short. 0 and 1.5. And finally, let's do a color over lifetime. And all I'm going to do on this one is we're just going to edit it so that the alpha is 0 at the end. And we're going to make it kind of fade out quickly. So I'm going to create another one here that has alpha 255. So we'll just make it so that the last 10% of its life, it will fade out. So that'll give it a little bit less of an edge on the... That looks kind of cool. Let's make the start size between 1 and 2. Alright, that's certainly better than what we had before. Let's apply this and delete the one that's in our scene. And now if we hit play, we should have cooler looking particles. Much cooler. I like that a lot better. Cool. Alright. Save scene, save project. Like in game, reconcile offline work. Reconcile. Bonus particles. Alright. And that wraps up our show. So thank you for joining us tonight. Please email me if you have any questions, pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Drakfire, that's DRAKFYRE. Tweet Phil, Magma Lemur, MAGMALEMUR. Buy his game, Robot Alone. Support the show. There's a Patreon page that's linked in our little bar. There's the big hamburger thing, and then like in the lower right-hand corner it should say something about support the show. Click that and you'll get to our Patreon page. You can also just search Patreon for Cooking with Unity. And thank you very much, and we will see you, I'll see you tomorrow morning, and we will all see you on Thursday for Fight Go Right. Thank you very much, and you guys have a great one.
Unity.rocks.
Unity.rocks?